The following video contains language that may be inappropriate for young viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Welcome to Behind the Bars, where we bring the unseen and the unheard stories from the depths of the prison system to the forefront. I'm your host, Jason Boss, and together we'll explore the madness, the chaos, and the harsh realities hidden behind the steel doors of prisons worldwide. From the local jailhouse to death row across the world, we'll show you the isolation, the seclusion, and the decades spent enduring unimaginable conditions. These are the stories of survival, struggle, and humanity in places most of us will never see. We're here to shine a light on what society often forgets, the voices of the incarcerated. Each story is real, each voice is authentic, and every moment reveals the raw, unfiltered truth of life behind the bars. Join me for a journey like no other, a journey into the darkness, the truth, and the resilience of the human spirit. This is Behind the Bars, real life, real stories. All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I have with me a good friend and brother. His name is Terrell Deshaun Perry, and my brother has done a tremendous amount of time. Now, my brother is in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and we have talked a little bit here and there, and he has given us the honor and the privilege to talk with us today about all things life, all things incarcerated, all things out of incarcerated. And my brother, my friend, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm great, man. Praise be to the Father. Everything is good, man. I'm just ready to communicate with the people outside these walls, man.
Absolutely. And for everybody that is out there, guys, I will leave the contact information for Terrell in the description below. There are two ways to contact these guys. There's the old snail mail way, which does not work real well. And then I will also leave in the description the Securus Tech way that you guys can contact him. And I am sure he would love to have somebody from the outside contact him. And I'm sure he'd get right back to you. Is that the case, Terrell? Would you get back to everybody out there?
Yeah, time permitted and steps permitted, and man, because I'm not busy enough to not talk to my people, man, because I love everybody, man. So I will get to them ASAP, and my ASAP might not be quick, but it will be ASAP for me because I got a couple things to do, man, to help these brothers in here too.
Absolutely.
But I will most definitely get back at him, yes, I will.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. Now, my brother, you've been locked away for a very long time. How old are you right now?
I'm 45, man. I've been locked up 21 years. Well, over 21 now.
Okay, and that puts you to, how old are you?
45.
45. Okay, so you're 45, so you have lived... You're about 22 years in right now, so you are almost over half your life in chains, essentially. Now, how old were you when this crime went down?
23.
23.
23.
Wow, so young, bro, so young. And
yes, sir.
Take me through your childhood, if you will. How did you grow up? What was it like growing up? How were your parents? How was life from a young age to adolescence?
Well, man, like my life started off, I'm gonna say, a little traumatic, because when I was 2, my father, he was murdered by the police. In jail, of all places. He was a military police officer. His name was Terrell Perry. And so I was like 2 or 3 years old at that time. And like I only have like 2 memories of him. Like he came, he had his little motorcycles. He drove up. I was on the porch. Excuse me. I was on the porch eating some peaches. He pulled up on the motorcycle. It's like I knew he was my father. I walked straight to the street where he was at. He picked me up, put me on the motorcycle, drove me down the street, drove me back. And it was the first memory. The second memory was going to the funeral. And so then we moved from Helena, Arkansas. That's where I'm from. Helena, Arkansas.
Okay.
And that's what this happened. So then we moved to Paxton, Missouri. At a young age, you know, my mother, she met this guy, and we moved to Paxton, Missouri with him. That's where he was from. And man, it was hell. It was hell to watch all the stuff that my mother went through, you know, from the domestic violence and all that, man. And so
okay. Let me jump in there real quick. Now, so your dad, you said your dad was murdered by the police. You said he was military police or something, or how did he end up in custody?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was, like, okay, all the stories I got from older people, and they, you know how older people in the neighborhood, they be like, man, who your family is? Who your family is?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I tell them my daddy's name, they be like, oh, man. They said, do not tell the police that's your father. I was like, why? Then they started telling me stories about it. They said he would drink gin and juice and get drunk and call the police and then fight them. And then he would leave and run back to the military base. And where they can't touch him. But yeah, I guess one time they caught him and they put him in jail and they roughed him up, beat him up and hung him, you know, and like my sisters on my dad's side, they told me that they're supposed to reopen the case. I don't know, you know, the information of that, but they said they're supposed to reopen the case as a cold case. But yeah, that's what happened. So that's the story I got. You know, I don't really know.
And so he was, at some point when he was arrested, he ended up with the cops killing him?
Yeah, they roughed him up in the jail. And, they beat him up, and they say he hung himself. But he was beat up.
Yeah.
Beat up, and, like, you don't just beat yourself up and hang yourself.
Yeah.
They couldn't explain, you know, his wounds, you know, back then. This was like 82 or 83, 1982, 83. So,
very
I mean,
suspicious.
you know, they're supposed to be reopening it. Yeah, so he was a military officer. He was a military police.
Wow.
So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dramatic. I found it very interesting. You remember eating peaches on the porch because as memories come and go, I mean, those are important things. Now, you left and you went from Arkansas to Missouri. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. Paxton, Missouri.
Okay.
And, we moved up there, and, yes.
And then you mentioned that your mama was being abused. How did this happen? Who was being abused? What happened from the time that you lost your dad to the next memories?
Well, it's like everything was in fast motion, I guess. Like, and when we moved to Paxton, Missouri, my mother was in a terrible relationship with this guy. I think he just got her away from her family and took her to a whole other state to where she was totally dependent on him, you know, so she had to endure the abuse because she didn't have no family up there. So she left the relationship, and we was like staying in the back of cars and abandoned houses and stuff like that. And not for long, but, you know, like a night or two, and then she met with come out to be my youngest sister's Tamisha, her father. She met him, and then, you know, like, life was good. It was great. Like, he was the man of the house. He was showing me how to, you know, take care of the household. And then the crack era hit. Man, crack era hit, man. It just tore our house apart, man. It went from a great house to essentially the same predicament she was in at first. But it would only be when the crack was used, and not my mother, but just from him. So
your dad turned into crack use?
No, my stepfather. He ended up he was my stepfather.
Right. And so, what drugs were he into prior to crack? Because I mean, you just don't jump into crack, do you? I mean, he was doing drugs the whole time.
I don't remember, like, it was never discussed, but from my understanding, I think it was Primo, where you smoke like cocaine and weed mixed or something, but it wasn't crack. It was something like that, some of that sort. But then when the crack came out, I guess, you know, it was just something new. And like, I was young. I was like 6 years old, 7 years old when that happened, man. So it was like 86, something like that, 87. But yeah, man, it tore our house up. So the crack era came and tore the house up.
Okay, so you're 6 years old now. Now you've seen all sorts of stuff. I mean, you've seen your dad die early. You've seen, you've seen your mom being beat. That kind of stuff that jacks you up. I tell you from personal experience. I know that jacks you up. Seeing your parents get beat by the other people or others, it's jacked. Okay, so 6 years old, 1986. Crack hits your house. You guys are in Missouri. What happens from there?
Fast forward, my mother, she got out of that relationship, and she got out of both relationships. And so, but we were staying in this old, run-down, poverty-stricken neighborhood in Missouri. It was 123 Myers Drive. I would never forget it. And this company, I think it was a construction company, but they bought the land that everybody's houses that we was living on. So they bought all the land, so they told the whole neighborhood, I'm going to say about 40-something houses, people living in all the houses. They told us we all had to move within 2 weeks. And that was it. So the company bought the land, they tore all the houses down and built a parking lot and like 2 storage houses for the company. And but my mother, at the time, she was pregnant with my little sister, Shacretia. She was pregnant with her. I didn't know, but so we called my grandmother. And so we ended up moving back to Arkansas in 1990. Yep. Moved back to Arkansas. I was 10 years old, moved back. 91. Yeah, I moved back. We moved back to Arkansas, man, and like it was all right, it was cool, but I was a new kid on the block, so now I had to fight almost every day because, the little guys, they wanted to, who's this guy? They were trying to bully me, man. So I had to fight almost every day because I'm growing up now. Now I'm out playing and stuff, and it was just a constant struggle.
So 10 years old, you're out having to duke it out. Now, is this like other kids on the block? I mean, are you in the hood or the ghettos or something? Are you in the ghettos? Is this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am in the heart of the gutters.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of the ghetto. So that's where we moved. So, we didn't have enough money, so, we moved there, and, so I'm out. I have family there, cause we moved back to where my family was at, in Arkansas, in Helena, Arkansas. So, I'm just running around the hood, the little neighborhood, talking to the little girls and the little guys, trying to make friends. And I'm the new guy, so all the little girls like me. So now their little boyfriends, little boy crushes don't like me. So it was just that. It was just that. You know how little kids, they just fight sometimes. So that's what I had to go through a lot. So
now, were you going to school around these years?
Yes, I went to elementary school, then I went to Woodruff Elementary School, then I went to Liza Middle School, and then I'm going to say I used to walk around, and when I leave outside the neighborhood, like, guys used to jump on me a lot, because I had the reputation of fighting one-on-one fights, I would win. So they had to jump on, but when they were jumping on me, it was extremely violent. Like, they would bust my head, grab my nose and kick me in the face. Yeah, like, it was bad.
Yeah.
So, this is all, like, trauma that's leading up to my thinking. Because all the time when I'm going through this, I'm like, man, I ain't going through this ever again. I'm not going through this no more. They're not gonna do this to me, because I'm a very light-skinned black man, so we get treated different in the neighborhood,
Oh, okay.
So,
I got it.
So I had to go through all that, because they calling me all type of names, man. It's making me fight, So,
I got you. I did not know that.
Yeah, so because it's a totally different thing when you.
So they want you all black or like nothing in between, because if not, you've like somehow like burned the race or something. Is that it?
I don't know what it is about it. They just naturally think like since we.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jason
um,
Boss, and I'm the host of Behind the Bars. First, I want to thank you for watching, sharing, and supporting our channel. This project means the world to us because it's about giving a voice to the unheard. The men and women behind the bars who share their raw, unfiltered stories of life, mistakes, redemption, and lessons learned. But here's the reality. Because of the nature of our content, Behind the Bars will never be monetized by YouTube. And that's okay. We're not doing this for the money, but to keep telling you these stories, to keep bringing you interviews from across the plains, we need your help. Right now, we're sitting on over 15 incredible interviews that are waiting to be edited and shared. We've got the footage, but we need the resources. More interviews mean more editors, more work, and a bigger team to make this vision a reality. And that's where you come in. By becoming a Patreon today, you're not just helping bring us these stories to life. You're also getting exclusive access to behind-the-scenes conversations and untold stories that won't be available on YouTube. These are the moments that take you deeper into the lives of our interviewees, as well as the challenges and triumphs we face while we are creating this channel. If you've ever been moved by one of these stories, if you believe in the power of second chances and in a shining light on the human experience, please consider supporting us. With your help, we can reach further and roll out even more of the content you love. So from the bottom of my heart and from all of us here at Behind the Bars, thank you for being a part of this journey. Much love to you, y'all, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Something is like it's the weaker version of him because on the white side, it's like I'm not white, I'm black.
Right.
And on the black side, he's not all black, he's white.
Yeah.
Such he's mixed. And so I got it from both sides, like my whole life. But
okay, so you're talking. I think you were around 10 years old. Are we still around this age, around 12 or 13, maybe? Or what age?
Oh, yeah, I'm saying around 13. Now this is when my life actually. That's where it really changed. Because at 13 years old, we moved from New Edition in West Helena, Arkansas, to Helena, Arkansas. And man, if you look up like the town right now, Helena, Arkansas, you will see how extremely violent it is. And it was just the same way when I moved over there at 13 years old. So I'm going to tell you my first encounter there. Okay, my mama gave me $10. So I had a $10 bill. So I come outside and this guy named Tony Collins, who ended up being one of my best friends in the world. His name was Tony Collins. So he said, man, you got a $10 bill? I said, yeah. He said, you know, you can tell if it's fake or not because it got this little strip in it. He said, you got to hold it up to the light. I said, what? I ain't believe it. He said, yeah, all of them got little strips in it. So I let him hold my $10 bill, and he held it up to the light, man, and he just took off running with my $10. This was like the second day of me living. He took off running with my $10, man.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I chased him down and stuff like that, but we became friends, like real good friends, man.
Wow. Okay, so that's your to this point at 13 years old, have you done any form of drugs at all?
No.
Nothing.
No, I didn't do nothing. I just smoked a cigarette, and it was horrible. So I didn't do that no more.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. Yeah, I didn't do anything at this point.
Okay. All right.
But it's where it changed it, Lou.
Okay, so let's roll into Helena, Arkansas more and see what happens there.
Okay, so I had a cousin named Melvin. He comes from Chicago. So he came down from Chicago and he showed me all type of crime stuff that I never knew about, like breaking in the houses and breaking in the cars and taking car radios and selling it and all type of stuff like that. So to me it's new, and I just was like, all right, I'm gonna hang with him. So I hung with him, and then he had a joint. I said, what is that? It smells funny. He said, this is a joint. He said, the weed? He said, yeah. So he was the first guy to introduce me to smoking marijuana. So
this is Melvin? This dude's name is Melvin?
Yeah, my cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, Melvin Johnson, my cousin, yeah.
So this dude just moving from Chicago to Helena, and you guys just started into a life of, little crimes?
Yeah, little petty crimes, and he was, I was smoking joints with him and breaking in the houses with him and stuff like that. So then, you know, he ventured off and he started doing, you know, because he was way older than me, so he ventured off and started doing, you know, grown man stuff, I guess, and it was left me with, you know, the awful crime. Like, so I started breaking into houses and, you know, stuff like that, and trying to sell stuff to buy a little sack of weed so I can go smoke a joint like he showed me. You know, because, like, I thought that's what you were supposed to do because that's all I seen.
Right. Right.
You know, yeah.
And did your mom catch up with any of your crimes or any of your stuff back to this? What's her role right now in your life?
I don't know her exact mind frame, but I came in the house with like new shoes and stuff. Of course, I was bringing in the house. I had shoes, clothes, and she didn't have to buy me the stuff because I was just popping up with it. And I had like a Nintendo and little games and a little bit of TV in my room. She was like, "Boy, where you getting all this stuff from?" So I'm like, "Man, such and such let me borrow it." So she looked at me like, "I know you lying." She was like, "I know you lying." But she never really said anything because I'm gonna say like at I think I was 12 right before we moved to Helena. She sat me down. She sat me down at the table. And she said, "When I'm not here, you're the man of the house." I didn't know what that means. I was like 12 years old. So she was like, "Yeah, you're the man of the house." She said, "You need to take care of your sisters because I have an older sister and a younger sister." I was like, she sat me down at the kitchen table. I'll never forget it. She said, "When I ain't here," she said, this is the little, you know, the house protection, you know, little 25 pistol. She said, "It's up here in my closet in this little bowl. Don't never bring it out unless somebody is trying to do something to your sisters or to the house." She said, "When I'm not here, you're the man of the house." So I was like, all right, you know, all right. So I didn't know anything about being a man of the house. So my uncle, Terrell Perry, man, he was like, man, he's a great, great guy, man. He's super cool, man. And so I looked at him, how he ran his house. Now he stayed what he was at. So he was not the best example for me because he was like the weed man. You know, he was the weed man of the neighborhood. So it was like, man, it was all twisted, and every example I had growing up was not good.
Yeah, and that's
it was not good.
Yeah, we become a product of our environment, and unless there is a strong man or a soldier of the Creator really come up and grab a hold of these kids, you know, we're just really lost in just a really crappy world. All right.
Yeah. And I love, yes.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that I love all of this, what I've been through, because now I can go in the same spots and talk to, you know, young brothers and sisters that's going through the same thing or the similar situations I've been through, because I'm the guy that they can't look at and say, "You ain't never been out here. You ain't never did this. You ain't never did that." They can't look at me and say that because I have been there. I have done that. So I know what you're going through. I know what you're going to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to, on these podcasts that we're doing, I like to get where we have enough time, you know, 4 or 5 minutes at the end to where we can get just that from you. Some of this, you know, what we'll wrap up like all of this. It looks like we're doing good on time, I think. I think we still got like another 8 minutes on this particular call. So take me into this. Your next role model was the weed dealer, the guy, obviously, and you're sitting here watching, you know, and a lot of people that have had the opportunity of having a mother and a father in the house, a lot of what we're saying is foreign to you because you don't understand that when there's a lack of guardianship, when there's a lack of a man in the house to direct the young lions oftentimes get off into the wrong field and they don't have that direction. And so, you know, what we're talking about with Terrell, there's thousands of dudes just like this, and we have all these babies, but we don't have any dads for these babies, and this is where we have all been into. Okay, now my brother, take me into this next guy. Take me into your Helena world. Further on.
Yeah, this is where it turned for the worse, I guess you could say. Like okay, so I never had brothers. I only had sisters on my father's side and my mother's side. I'm the only son to my mother and my father.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get into the streets, I meet these guys in the neighborhood over here in Helena, Arkansas. These guys are cool. Like, they are just cool. They just accepted me as like a brother, as a friend. I never had that because in West Helena, I was fighting all the time. And I get over here, they want to fight with me. You know, they on my side. They like my brother, so it's kind of like all my loyalty went to them. All of it. Like, I was loyal to a fault.
Is this a gang?
Because a gang, man, in the hood, yeah, it was some gang members around. Most of them was gangster disciples and a couple of Crips, but they didn't really hang. But the neighborhood I was in, it was all gangster disciples. Like, there were so many of them that they fought each other sometimes.
Are you saying gangsters disciples?
Yes.
Gangster disciples, okay.
Gangster disciples.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a Chicago-based, Chicago-based gang. Probably heard of them. But yeah, so
okay.
This was.
So you were just hanging. You found some homies that fought with you, not against you, and where did this go? Where did this go?
Oh man, they tried to recruit me, of course, but I never. I want to say I never fully committed, but you can say that I was because I did everything they did. I went with them everywhere they went, and like I was just one of the guys. Man. But like I don't know the full thing of how they looked at people, how people were supposed to like get put down with their gangs or sex or whatever. But I mean, they just accepted me. If I wasn't, they accepted me like I was. That's just how it was. So I ran around, of course I was smoking weed, I started drinking, and now it elevated to, I went from fighting to shoot pistols at each other because these guys came over there and shot at us. So our only option was to shoot back. Just, they don't want to fight no more, they want to shoot. So that's why I said it's like everything elevated. Because in West Helena I was fighting. In Helena, these guys was fighting with me, but now the guys that we fighting against, they don't want to fight, they want to shoot. So it's the gun violence, it's the gun violence. So you're
14-ish around here, 13, 14?
Yes.
Okay.
14. I had turned 14 because when I was 13, I moved over there. So that whole little year, that summertime, I kind of like got used to the guys. They got to see me in the neighborhood all the time, so we kind of became friends. So at 14, when the summertime came of 1994, man, I was 14 and it kind of turned up. Everything got bad, got violent, extremely violent. I didn't know. It didn't feel like it was violent as it was, but when you have a shootout every Sunday, every Saturday night, like literally every Sunday, every Saturday night, it's a shootout. Like either they're going to sneak over there where we at or we'll sneak over there where they at, and because I had some homeboys that was, like messing with their sisters or whatever, and they had kids by their cousins, so they had to go see their kids, or they just go over there with their girlfriends, and they get trapped, they get stuck. The guys know they over there, and they won't let them out the house, so we got to go get them out the house. So it's just, so, and it was bad, man. It was bad. I didn't know it, but
all right.
Thinking about it, man.
Okay, yeah. So I think we should pause on this particular part of the story, and I think we should pick this one up because on the next podcast. But you've lived, obviously a life of I guess it's kind of like violence, right? I guess you would say from looking at this. And when you're talking about being 12 and 13 and 14, they're so young. People have no idea how young this is, and when we do not chaperone our young lions like this is the things that happen. And so, I'm always out there trying to tell people to build these families and to take care of their kids and to embrace their kids and do things like this. Now, my brother, what do you have? What can you leave the world with as a better place from your experiences that you have experienced to this point on thwarting others that are probably dabbling in weed, that are just smoking a weed every once in a while? How can it take control? How can you fix the problems of society based upon the problems you've encountered?
Well, the main thing I get from it all is that once you leave it, you'll realize you never needed it in the first place. And that's as real as it can get. Because a lot of this stuff that I did, I feel like it was because other people wanted me to do it. It wasn't because I wanted to do it. And I can say I was forced in it, but at the end of the day, I chose to do a lot of this stuff because I had no other option but to like it, but the option, your past does not determine your future. Like, I'm a living testimony to that. And you're going to find out once we get deeper into this story. But this is just the beginning, man, and this is what led me on, like, as where I'm at right now. I got a life sentence, but I also I did have a life sentence, but my life sentence now is spreading the message to the people, the righteousness of the word, the righteousness of the scripture to the people. That's the main objective. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So that's my life sentence. Anything else, it don't matter.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And
you have 1 minute left.
And, man, I really, really, really appreciate you, Terrell. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your storytelling on this. I know that people are going to fall in love with you guys. And, again, guys, the description on how to get a hold of Terrell is in the description below. Please reach out. Please support him. Show him a little bit of love. This is an amazing soldier that is doing the work of our Creator inside the dark depths of prison. Terrell, my brother, thank you very much for being on this podcast.
Shalom, peace, brother.
Shalom.
I will be back.
Okay, man.
I will be back.
All right, my
All
brother.
right.